The night of July 7, 2013, began like any other summer evening in the small town of Wilson, Oklahoma. The air was warm, the streets were quiet, and the community was settling into the calm of a typical summer night. But for 21-year-old Colt Haynes and 17-year-old Molly Miller, this night would take a sinister turn, marking the beginning of an unsolved mystery that continues to haunt their families and captivate the nation. The two friends had plans to enjoy the evening, unaware of the dark fate that awaited them. What began as a seemingly ordinary evening would descend into a terrifying ordeal, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a community grappling with the unknown. The peaceful town of Wilson would soon be thrust into the spotlight as the search for Colt and Molly began. Colt, a young man with a promising future, and Molly, a vibrant teenager full of life, were last seen in a vehicle driven by 22-year-old James Conn Nipp. The trio was reportedly heading out for a night of fun, but they never returned home. Their disappearance would spark a massive investigation spanning over a decade and draw attention to the perplexing circumstances surrounding that fateful night. Law enforcement agencies, volunteers, and the entire community came together in a desperate search for answers. As investigators pieced together the events leading up to their vanishing, a chilling narrative began to emerge, filled with twists, turns, and dead ends that only deepened the mystery. The case remains unsolved, leaving everyone to wonder what truly happened to Colt Haynes and Molly Miller on that ominous night in Wilson, Oklahoma. The events that unfolded on that warm July night began with a police chase. It was a night that would be etched into the memories of everyone involved, a night where a series of decisions led to unforeseen consequences. James Conn Nipp, behind the wheel of the vehicle carrying Colt and Molly, allegedly threw rocks at a police car, triggering a pursuit that would send the three careening down dark country roads. The tension in the air was palpable as the police sirens wailed and the car sped through the night. The chase, a desperate attempt to evade authorities, ultimately ended in a crash near Nipp's family's property, a sprawling and densely wooded area that would become a focal point of the investigation. The crash was violent, the sound of metal crunching and glass shattering echoing through the night. Nipp, the driver, would later surface, claiming to have no knowledge of Colt and Molly's whereabouts. His demeanor was one of confusion and worry as he faced the relentless questioning from the authorities. His account, riddled with inconsistencies and lacking crucial details, raised more questions than answers. Each statement he made seemed to deepen the mystery, leaving investigators frustrated and the families of the missing teens in anguish. The crash site, a tangled mess of metal and broken glass, offered few clues, and the dense woodland surrounding the area seemed to swallow any trace of the missing teenagers. The search efforts were hampered by the thick underbrush and the vastness of the forest. The chase, a desperate act of recklessness, had set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the lives of two families and leave a community searching for answers. The community came together, holding vigils and organizing search parties, their flashlights piercing the darkness as they combed through the woods, hoping for a miracle. As the sun rose on July 8, 2013, panic set in. The serene morning light stood in stark contrast to the turmoil that was unfolding. Colt and Molly were gone, their last known whereabouts the crash site near Nipp's property. The sight of the abandoned vehicle sent chills down the spines of those who knew them. Frantic calls to their cell phones went unanswered, each missed call deepening the sense of dread, each unanswered ring amplifying the growing fear that something was terribly wrong. Friends and family were gripped by an overwhelming sense of helplessness. The hours that followed were agonizing, filled with desperate hope and mounting dread. Time seemed to stretch endlessly, every minute feeling like an eternity. Then, a glimmer of hope emerged from the darkness, a small piece of information that could potentially lead to their whereabouts. Phone records revealed a series of chilling calls made by the missing teenagers throughout the night. Each call, a breadcrumb in the trail of their disappearance. Molly, in a brief but terrifying call to 911, remained silent, the only sound a heart-wrenching plea for help, masked by static and fear. The static-filled call was a haunting reminder of their perilous situation. It was clear they were in grave danger. Later, calls to friends painted a grim picture. Desperation and fear echoed in their voices. Colt, they were told, had fallen from a tree, injuring his ankle, leaving them stranded and vulnerable. The injury made their situation even more dire. These desperate pleas for help, Their last known contact with the outside world would be the last anyone heard from Colt Haynes and Molly Miller. The silence that followed was deafening, leaving a void that would haunt their loved ones forever. The disappearance of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller sent shockwaves through their tight-knit community. Families, clinging to hope, rallied together, launching a tireless search for their loved ones. Every passing day brought fresh agony, the unanswered questions gnawing at their souls. Paula Fielder, Molly's determined cousin, took it upon herself to delve into the details, meticulously analyzing phone records, searching for any clue that could lead to their whereabouts. Her relentless pursuit of the truth, fueled by unwavering love and a refusal to give up, uncovered inconsistencies and raised suspicions of a possible cover-up. Meanwhile, Monique Stewart, Colt's sister, officially reported him missing on July 14, 2013, adding his name to the growing list of missing persons and intensifying the search efforts. Section 5. Unraveling the mystery. The investigation unfolds. Local authorities, realizing the gravity of the situation, sprang into action. The investigation into the disappearance of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller quickly expanded, drawing in resources from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. The case, shrouded in mystery and fueled by speculation, became a top priority, with investigators pursuing every lead, no matter how small. The investigation, however, was hampered by dead ends and conflicting information. James Conn Nipp, the driver of the vehicle, remained a person of interest, his inconsistent accounts and lack of cooperation casting a long shadow over the case. The crash site, thoroughly combed for evidence, yielded few clues, and the vast, unforgiving terrain surrounding the area made the search for the missing teenagers a daunting task. Section 6. Whispers and Rumors, the Moxley Lake Incident. As months turned into years, the case of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller took on an almost mythical quality in the small town of Wilson, Oklahoma. Whispers turned into rumors, speculation ran rampant, and the lack of answers only fueled the flames of suspicion. Then, in 2014, a strange and unsettling incident breathed new life into the investigation. Colby Barrick, Nipp's uncle, made a frantic call to 911. The call, accidental according to Barrick, contained chilling references to Moxley Lake and disturbing details of violent acts, leading investigators to believe that the lake, located near the crash site, could hold the key to solving the mystery. Barrick, in subsequent conversations with law enforcement, allegedly claimed that the bodies of Colt and Molly were disposed of in the lake, sending shockwaves through the community and giving renewed hope to their families. Section 7. A decade of uncertainty. The case remains cold. Despite the numerous leads, the tireless efforts of law enforcement and the unwavering dedication of their families, the case of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller remained unsolved. Years turned into a decade, the pain of their absence a constant ache in the hearts of those who loved them. The investigation, though still open, had grown cold, the trail of clues seemingly gone cold. The Moxley Lake lead, a beacon of hope in the darkness, ultimately proved fruitless. Searches of the lake, conducted with painstaking care and utilizing advanced sonar technology, failed to uncover any trace of the missing teenagers. The case, once a flurry of activity and media attention, faded from the headlines, but for the families of Colt and Molly, the fight for answers never wavered. Section 8. The Unwavering Hope for Resolution. 11 years have passed since that fateful night in July 2013. 11 years of unanswered questions, agonizing uncertainty, and the relentless pursuit of justice. The families of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller, their strength and determination unwavering, refuse to let their loved ones be forgotten. The pain of their loss is a constant companion, but so too is the hope that one day, the truth will be revealed. They cling to the belief that someone, somewhere, holds the key to unlocking the mystery, a piece of information, a long-forgotten detail that could bring closure to their nightmare. Their fight for justice continues, fueled by love, determination, and the unwavering hope that justice will prevail. Section 9. Remember their names, a plea for respect and justice. The unsolved disappearance of Colt Haynes and Molly Miller serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of hope. As we reflect on this case, let us remember their names, their faces, and the families who continue to search for answers. The search for truth and justice must continue. but it must be conducted with respect and sensitivity for the families who have endured unimaginable pain. Let us not forget Colt and Molly, and let us honor their memory by demanding answers, seeking justice, and offering support to those who love them most. In the end, we are all connected by the threads of humanity, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure that no one is forgotten and no case is left unsolved. Let us remember their names, and let us never stop searching for the truth.